Be selfish. Focus on number one. Put yourself before everybody else. The joy of being selfish. Let's get into this idea today on a philosophical, sociological, and maybe a little bit of a theological basis, as maybe part of the foundation that underlies so much societal unhappiness today. Let's get into it. And a very good day to you once again. If you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit that bell for all notifications. And if you enjoy the video, please remember to give a thumbs up. I really appreciate the feedback I got on the first of the series about going alone. And today, going alone, we're going to tie this to the cult of what I call selfishness today. In the first video, I talked about how men and women are diverging in terms of being able to interrelate and relate to each other in a dating scene, and we're depopulating the planet as a result. And one of the core reasons is what we're going to get to today, which is the rise in the, I don't want to call it the acceptability, but the encouragement to be selfish. This is a very serious thing for society. And again, 50, 75 years ago, people might have thought this in their head sometimes, but you would have never seen this as a society-wide recommendation from psychologists right on down to the person that's next door, encouraging people to focus on themselves and being number one, particularly in Western society, and most especially we see it intensely in the United States today, where social media has really taken root, especially since 2015. Everybody can have a voice. Everybody can follow the herd mentality. And the thing is, in being selfish, in the short run, maybe even into the intermediate run, you do find short-term happiness. In the West, and much of the West here in the United States of America, it's very interesting to really think about obvious things that you never think about or maybe don't know about. One of the things that struck me the strangest, and like it was a wow moment for me, was of all the languages in the world, the English language is the only one that capitalizes I. Okay, when we write or put I in a sentence, it is always a capital letter. And part of this stems from the legacy of, well, Rule Britannia, and this tendency to be Anglo-centric in our thoughts and in our beliefs. And that's expressed through language. I speak fluent Chinese. Chinese doesn't have the capital I. Right? There's no capitalizations in the Chinese language at all. Maybe in the names, and that's about it. You look at French, you look at Italian, Spanish, all of them, the I is not capitalized. Okay, so it's right off the bat we see something there. Number two, when we're born into the world, we are totally dependent on others. We are born selfish, okay? And as a result of that, we have to depend on everybody else for everything. And guess what? They come to our rescue when eventually we need a diaper change, or we need to be fed, or we're growing up and we're told how wonderful we are. And we make you as a child in a lot of, well, normal functioning relationships. We make you the center of our universe, and this is healthy for a child in a lot of ways because all of its needs are being met. But it does inculcate humanity with a natural tendency towards being selfish that, let's face it, is human nature. It's not human nature to be selfless and give. It's our human nature to want to have it ourselves. And it's only when we reach outside the bounds of that that we find some sort of whole different existence in life. I draw your attention to this series of popular videos that have come out, especially the last few years, about the joy of being selfish. Some of them fed by the world of psychology. And a lot of them fed by, well, people that are very well known, the Jordan Petersons of the world, and people that are lesser known. But to a great extent, right, especially the people that are on a more professional standing, they're dealing to basic human nature, and they're feeding that basic human nature. And this helps explain why a lot of relationships are dysfunctional today, because people are more and more being taught, particularly in the West and the United States in particular, to put yourself first. And you know what happens when you put yourself first? You diminish the other person in terms of their importance and their need, thereby unraveling relationships. I was joking around on a live stream last night. What's the number one thing that young people tell each other when they fall in love? That first rush of love, when you have that mutual commitment. I love you, you love me. In that real first rush of love, how common is it to hear, I would do anything for you, I love you so much. You know it's true. That's that natural, unfiltered giving that says, no matter what, I am putting you first. You are the center of my being, not me. And you know what? That spontaneous joy and happiness that happens because of that is true, and it's real, and it feels good because we're rising above our human nature. And when we do that by being selfless and giving and volunteering and helping other people, we have a feeling that is unequal to anything that we may get as a present, a compliment. We have an idea that we really put somebody else first, and therein is the moral theological overlay of that. It's that ability to rise above your human nature, even on a short-term basis, some people for life, and be able to put others ahead of yourself. That breeds true happiness. I'll also draw your attention, if you haven't seen, scroll back and look at it again. You'll see that most of the people that do these videos about the joy of being selfish generally are in their 20s and maybe their 30s. I say this with the utmost respect. You haven't really lived your life enough to know what the implications of selfishness are. And the attenuated results of selfishness are loneliness in life, where all you have is yourself. You give to yourself, you lose that feedback dynamic of a real positive, genuine, loving feeling that comes from doing for others. Therein lies true human happiness. So now, through social media, which I believe honestly is in so many ways demonically inspired, it does a great deal today to separate us from ourselves and to separate us from other people and make us focus on ourselves, all under the encouragement of people that are trained or conditioned by social media to think that focusing on themselves is the key to happiness. All of these people tend to be very young. And I would say you probably won't see them on social media in 20, 30 years when they hit midlife and realize by being selfish, they've created this repellent bubble around them. Not even spoken. This repellent bubble that just pushes people away by this need to focus on ourselves. The reality is this, okay, and take this to heart. The easiest and most natural thing in human nature is to automatically put yourself first. We don't need a video to tell us to be selfish. It comes naturally to us as human beings. Overcoming that is a step beyond it. Well, it It affirms a virtue in human nature that's not found in a natural human nature. It says, I shackled this natural want to be selfish and I rose above it, and it feels fantastic. It really is a beautiful thing, and therein is the key to happiness, rising above your human nature, right? There's people that go their whole lives and they seem totally selfless to others, and they don't really care about what they have in life. And then you see other people that are used to being wined and dined and feted and being celebrated and the wealthy and things. And I call that the Citizen Kane syndrome, where you get it all. I see Martha Stewart is a perfect example, and I love her and I love her recipes. But there's something about being ultra successful that carries its own baggage with it. That unless the focus is on me and my wants and my desires, it's just not that relevant to me. And this explains a great deal of that Citizen Kane syndrome, where the simple things in life that you crave you could never have, and you're not the person that you want to be. Well, because you focused on yourself, okay? And what happens oftentimes, you may die filthy rich, filthy popular, filthy everything else, but you probably won't be truly happy, okay? I want to thank you for listening today and checking this out. I've gotten a lot of positive feedback. Once again, if you're not subscribed, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. Let me know in the comment section what you think of this encouragement to put yourself first and to learn to love yourself, as if we need to, as if as human beings we need that special training to do that. Anyway, guys, it's always the things that cause us to rise above our human nature that are always the most meaningful in life. Thanks so much for watching. Once again, subscribe, hit the bell for all notifications. Yes, there'll be more in this series. Let me know what you think, and let it rip in the comment section down below. Please be nice. Okay, thanks, everybody.